Quiet on the floor, please. Quiet on the floor, please. All council staffers off the main floor, please. Quiet. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please place all electronic devices to vibrate. Madam Majority Leader.
Recording in progress.
Good afternoon and welcome to the stated meeting of April 11th, 2024. I am Majority Leader Amanda Farias, and I'd like to thank you for joining us. If you would like to follow along, the agenda for today's meeting is posted on our website. On behalf of the body, I welcome the members of the public who have joined us here today. During stated meetings, only members of the council may speak. Members of the public shall remain silent. If you wish to express support of any remarks, you may make the silent approval gesture. I want to remind my colleagues that decorum is to be respected at all times. Insulting each other is not appropriate. All remarks are to be addressed to the chair, and members shall not speak unless recognized by the chair. It is essential that even if we disagree, we treat each other with respect.
Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Roll call.
Abreu.
Present.
Ariola. Aviles. Ayala.
Here.
Banks.
Present.
Botcher. Brannon.
Here.
Brewer.
Here.
Brooks Powers. Caban.
Present.
Carr.
Here.
De La Rosa.
Here.
Dinowitz. Felice.
Presente.
Gennaro.
Here.
Gutierrez. Hanif. Hanks.
Present.
Holden.
Here.
Hudson.
Present.
Joseph.
Present.
Krishnan.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Lewis.
Here.
Marmorato.
Present.
Marte.
Present.
Mealy. Menon.
Here.
Ariola.
Here.
Moya.
Present.
Narcisse.
Present.
Nurse. Osei. Palladino. Powers. Wrestler.
Here.
Botcher.
Here.
Brooks Powers.
Present.
Osei. Mealy,
Present.
Riley,
Present.
Palladino,
Present.
Rivera,
Present. Still here.
Salam,
Present.
Salamanca,
Present.
Sanchez,
Presente.
Shulman,
Here.
Stevens,
Here.
Ung,
Present.
Aviles,
Presente.
Nurse, Vernikoff, Williams, Juan, Yeager,
Here.
Zhuang,
Here.
Dinowitz. Thank you. Gutierrez. Borelli.
I am here.
Farias.
Present.
Speaker Adams.
I'm present.
Thank you. We will now have today's invocation, which will be delivered by Imam Abulazako Traore of Darul Salam Islamic Community Incorporated, located at 677 Elton Avenue in the Bronx.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. In the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful, praise be to Allah, Lord of the world, the most gracious, the most merciful, Master of the day of judgment. It is you we worship, and upon you we call for help. Guide us to the straight path, the path of those you have blessed, not those against whom there is anger, nor of those who are misguided. Allah, there is no deity except Him, the ever-living, the sustainer of all existence. Neither drowsiness overtakes Him, nor sleep. To Him belongs whatever is in the heaven and whatever is on the earth. Who is it that can intercede with Him except by His permission? He knows what is presently before them and what will be after them. And they encompass not a thing of His knowledge except for what He wills. His kursi extends over the heaven and the earth, and their preservation ties Him not. And He is the Most High, the Most Great. Almighty Allah, we are praying and asking you, after reciting the most powerful surah, chapter, and the most powerful verse in the Quran, to accept our invocation by guiding our lawmakers in making decisions. Almighty Allah, the citizens of New York City trusted them and elected them for a purpose of great leadership. Grant them the wisdom to achieve it. Almighty Allah, we pray and ask you to soften their hearts and guide them in all process that will lead them not to follow their desires, but to fulfill the duties and responsibilities that New York citizens trusted them with. Almighty Allah, we pray and ask you to protect them and ease their task in order for them to give the best of their ability to serve the New York City. Amen.
Thank you. I would now like to ask Councilmember Althea Stevens to spread the invocation on the record.
Good afternoon. Imam Abdul, born on January 21st, 1981 in the city of Kintu, Togo, West Africa, arrived in the U.S. over 20 years ago. After obtaining a BA in mathematics and science, he secured his 120 from the university and pursued a dual degree in biomagnetic and engineering and economics at Syracuse University, graduating in 2015. Currently, Abdul teaches mathematics at Bronx Community College, and serves as an imam in his community at Darul Salam Islamic community in the Bronx. His journey from Tago to the U.S. has been marked by academic achievement and commitment to his community. His father, influenced as an imam in Tago, has inspired Abdul's own spiritual leadership in shaping his role in guiding others, both educationally and religiously. Outside of the professional and religious duties, Imam Abdul is known for his dedication to promoting cultural understanding and community development, making him a respected figure in both the academic and religious circles. A few months ago, I was invited to the Darul Salam Islamic Community Center in the Bronx, where they have been hosting over 200 asylum seekers a night and serving up to 300 asylum seekers with food and helping them secure IDs and work. I want to thank Imam Abdul and Imam Nodo for stepping up and supporting our brothers and sisters during their time of need. I will continue to support faith-based institutions that have stepped up when the city has not been able to. Thank you, Majority Leader. I would like to thank Imam Abdul for being here today, and I make a motion for the unanimous consent to spread the invocation in full upon the record.
We will now have the adoption of minutes by Councilmember Eric Bottcher.
A motion that the minutes of the stated meeting of March 7, 2024 be adopted as printed.
Messages and papers from the mayor.
Preconsidered M35 through preconsidered M37 mayoral appointments.
Rules, privileges, and elections.
Communication from city, county, and borough offices.
None.
Petitions and communications.
None.
Land use call-ups.
M38 through M40.
Coupled on call-up vote, I now ask that the clerk take a roll call vote on today's land use call-ups.
Abreu.
Aye.
Ariola.
Aye.
Aviles.
Aye.
Ayala.
Aye.
Banks.
Aye.
Botcher.
Aye.
Brennan.
Aye.
Brewer.
Yes.
Brooks Powers.
Aye.
Caban.
Aye.
Thank you. Carr.
Aye.
Thank you. De La Rosa.
Aye.
Dinowitz.
Aye.
Feliz.
Aye.
Gennaro.
Aye.
Thank you. Gutierrez.
Aye.
Hanif. Hanks.
Aye.
Holden.
Aye.
Thank you. Hudson.
Aye.
Joseph.
Aye.
Krishnan.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Lewis.
Aye.
Mamarato.
Aye.
Marte.
Aye.
Mealy.
Aye.
Menin.
Aye.
Moya.
Aye.
Narcisse.
I vote aye.
Nurse.
Aye.
Osei.
Aye.
Palladino.
Aye.
Powers.
Aye.
Ressler.
Aye.
Riley.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
Salam.
I vote aye.
Salamanca.
Aye.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Schulman.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Ung.
Aye.
Vernikov.
Aye.
Williams. Juan. Yeager.
Aye.
Zhuang.
Aye.
Borelli.
Aye.
Farias.
I vote aye.
Speaker Adams.
I vote aye.
Today's land use call-ups are adopted by a vote of 48 in the affirmative and 0 in the negative. We will now have communication from Speaker Adrian Adams.
Thank you, Majority Leader, and good afternoon, everyone. First, I want to acknowledge the death of a 99-year-old Alamis Marcellus, whom we lost to a fatal fire in Councilmember Joseph's district on March 21st. We also lost 38-year-old Tracy Ann Douglas in a deadly fire on April 9th in Councilmember Riley's district. Our thoughts are with their loved ones and neighbors during this difficult time. Last month, we lost one of New York's finest, Detective Jonathan Diller, who was fatally shot on the line of duty. Detective Diller faithfully served our city and the borough of Queens for 3 years, putting his life on the line every day to help make New York a safer place for us all. He was a beloved father, husband, son, and brother who positively impacted everyone around him. He made our city and my home borough of Queens better. My prayers are with his family and his colleagues. Last month, we also lost 19-year-old Wynn Rosario in Councilmember Lynn Schulman's district in Queens. Wynn called 911 while experiencing a mental health crisis, which ended tragically when he was shot and killed by responding officers. Wynn deserved mental health support, and his death underscores the importance of community-based mental health interventions and evidence-based crisis responses. The Council continues to call for greater investments in mental health services that advance these goals with our upcoming city budget. My prayers go out to Wynn's family. Last week, the Council released its official response to the Mayor's fiscal year 2025 preliminary budget. The Council has made it clear that our city has the available resources to protect the essential services that New Yorkers rely on for the health and safety of their communities. Many of the budget cuts made by the administration were not only too broad and carried destabilizing consequences for our city and constituents, but were unnecessary in the first place. The Council's preliminary budget response proposes a balanced and responsible path for our city, with $6.15 billion in additional funds available to help reverse certain cuts, invest in critical areas for the city, address under-budgeting in the Mayor's preliminary budget, account for expiring federal stimulus funds, and strengthen the city's reserves. Our investments are focused in several areas that respond to some of our city's most significant challenges: affordable housing, 3K, other early childhood education programs in our public schools, CUNY, proven mental health solutions, programs that reduce recidivism, our cultural institutions and libraries, and an array of other vital services for New Yorkers. True public safety requires holistic investments by the city, as our city's district attorneys testified at the Public Safety Committee's budget hearing. We know that New Yorkers across our city need mental health solutions that help people access support, avoid crisis, and avert harmful cycles that exacerbate their challenges. Building on the Council's mental health roadmap, we call for over $200 million for mental health services, including investments in proven solutions like forensic assertive community treatment teams, mental health courts, and supportive housing that need investments at a greater scale. It is also critical that we restore and expand investments into the programs that reduce recidivism and prevent crime, which have recently been cut by the administration. We are prepared to advocate for these solutions in our city budget. The Council is a responsible steward of our city's fiscal health. We have demonstrated our commitment to advancing a budget that is not only fiscally balanced, but also protects essential services for New Yorkers and charts a path towards stability for our city. Tuesday night was the start of Eid al-Fitr, which marks the end of the blessed month of Ramadan. To the nearly 1 million Muslim New Yorkers who make our diverse city stronger, Eid Mubarak. April is Autism Acceptance Month, which celebrates and uplifts the voices of people with autism. New York will always be a city that supports the well-being of people of all abilities and spectrums of neurodiversity. April is also National Sexual Assault Awareness Month, during which we raise awareness and advance public education about the prevalence of sexual assault across the country. As a city, we must continue to empower survivors and support them with necessary resources and pathways to recover while working to prevent sexual assault. We're also celebrating April as Arab American Heritage Month. Join us in uplifting the many contributions of our Arab American communities throughout this month and beyond. April is National Fair Housing Month. This year, we're marking the 56th anniversary of the landmark Fair Housing Act, which was signed into law on this day in 1968. The theme for this year's celebration is The Act in Action. And here in New York City, we are contributing our part through our own fair housing framework law that we passed last year to equitably confront our city's housing crisis. I look forward to our continued work together to successfully advance fair housing efforts across the city. Today is the start of Black Maternal Health Week, a time when we recognize the stark inequities in maternal health outcomes that disproportionately affect Black women and birthing people. Black New Yorkers are 8 times more likely than white New Yorkers to die of a pregnancy-related illness, underscoring the urgency of action at all levels of government. In my State of the City, I proposed additional solutions to confront this pressing issue, including expanded access to doula care and more support for mothers to address 4th trimester mental health issues. We must continue to advance progress through critical investments and solutions. This week is also National Library Week, a time to celebrate these pillars of our neighborhood. Libraries are information hubs that New Yorkers of all ages rely on for knowledge, resources, and connection. For all that our libraries provide us, they deserve full funding in our city budget. Yesterday, the council hosted a Garifuna Heritage Celebration right here in the People's House. New York City is home to the largest Garifuna community outside of Central America. I thank Councilmember Althea Stevens and all of our colleagues for hosting this event to celebrate their rich contributions to our city. April 13th is Vaisakhi, one of the most significant days for the Sikh community and a day where many Sikhs choose to be baptized. I hope all who observe have a wonderful day of reflection and celebration. On April 16th, the council will host a Songkran celebration in the chambers to commemorate the Thai New Year. The program will start at 5:30 p.m. and I hope you can join our wonderful Thai community in their celebration. Yesterday, the legendary and longtime DJ Mr. C from Brooklyn passed away at the age of 56. Mr. C was a pioneer in the industry who was Big Daddy Kane's DJ and helped discover the notorious B.I.G. He was pivotal to their careers as well as those of many other hip-hop artists. New Yorkers will remember his work on Hot 97 for many, many years. Rest in power, Mr. C. Before we continue, I want to wish a happy belated birthday to Council Member Sandy Nurse, whose birthday was on April 3rd. And we wish a happy early birthday to Councilmember Crystal Hudson, whose birthday is on April 14th. And finally, on a more solemn note, yesterday, the murderer of 14-year-old Amir Griffin was sentenced to 30 years in prison. Amir lived in my district. He was a student and a star basketball player at Benjamin Cardozo High School who helped to someday make it to the NBA. Amir's death devastated his family and shook our community to its core. I will never forget that tragic night and the raw emotions that myself, my staff, and members of the 113th Precinct and community leaders shared as we tried to somehow comfort each other. As a mother and grandmother, I can tell you that my heart still breaks for the loss of that dear child. And as the council member for the 28th District, where the Baisley Park houses are located, it is still my vision and my intention to upgrade and rename the community center the Amir Griffin Community Center. NYCHA, do the right thing and lift the unnecessary pause that you have placed on this upgrade that was promised to this grieving family many years ago. Now let's move on to our stated agenda. First, we'll vote on the following finance items: a transparency resolution approving new designations and changes of certain organizations receiving funding in the expense budget. A preconsidered resolution sponsored by Councilmember Justin Brannan authorizing a 40-year Article 11 tax exemption for the preservation of 2 rent-stabilized buildings in Councilmember Abreu's and Salam's districts. A preconsidered resolution sponsored by Councilmember Brannan authorizing a 40-year Article 11 tax exemption for the preservation of 20 rent-stabilized buildings in Councilmember Felice's and Stevens districts. And a preconsidered resolution sponsored by Councilmember Brannan authoring a 40-year Article 11 tax exemption for the preservation of 1 rent-stabilized building in Councilmember Hudson's district. Next, we'll vote on the following appointments: Andrea Bierstein to the New York City Taxi and Limousine Commission, Maria Almonte Weston as a Commissioner of the New York City Local Conditional Release Commission, George Goodman as a Commissioner of the New York City Local Conditional Release Commission, Councilmember Jennifer Gutierrez as a member of the New York City Commission on Public Information and Communication, and Ngozo Okaro as a member of the New York City Equal Employment Practices Commission. Next, we'll vote on the following land use items. 396-40 Avenue X rezoning will facilitate a new 7-story mixed-use building with 45 housing units, including 12 affordable units, retail and medical office space, and 45 accessory off-street parking in Councilmember Brannan's district. The council will be modifying the MIH text amendment to remove option 2 and require MIH option 1. Willets Point Phase 2 will facilitate the second phase of a long-term, area-wide redevelopment strategy that re-envisions the Willets Point neighborhood of Queens and Councilmember Moya's district. This phase will create approximately 1,400 permanently affordable housing units, a 250-room hotel, a 25,000-seat stadium that will be the home of the New York City Football Club, 2.8 acres of publicly accessible open space, and 80,000 square feet of local retail space. This project will build the city's first stadium dedicated to soccer and bring much-needed affordable housing to our city. Lastly, 2 applications in Councilmember Caban's district. 30-11 12th Street rezoning will facilitate a new 8-story mixed-use building with approximately 86 housing units, including 26 units that will be permanently affordable, ground floor retail, and 41 accessory parking spaces. The council is modifying the application to remove MIH option 2 and require option 1 and add the deep affordability option. 23-01 Steinway Street rezoning will facilitate a new 6-story mixed-use building plus cellar with approximately 22 housing units, including 6 affordable units, ground floor retail space, and parking spaces. The council is modifying the application to remove MIH option 2 and require option 1 and add the deep affordability option. Today, we will also vote on the following pieces of legislation. Resolution 74, sponsored by Councilmember David Carr, would recognize April 17th annually as Giovanni da Verrazzano Day in the city of New York. Thank you to our staff member, Regina Paul. And thank you for that great speech the other day also, Regina. Introduction 69A, sponsored by Councilmember Lincoln Ressler, would prohibit and void provisions in employment agreements that shorten the statute of limitations in which claims and complaints of unlawful discriminatory practices, harassment, or violence may be filed, and in which civil actions may be commenced according to the city's human rights law. Thank you to our staff members, Rachel Cordero, David Seitzer, Jessica Boulay, and William Diori. Introduction 126A, sponsored by Minority Leader Joseph Borelli, would require the Fire Department of New York to provide body armor to employees within the Bureau of Emergency Medical Services, or EMS. This provision would largely codify existing practices and establish requirements that equipment meet ballistic and stab-resistant standards. And Introduction 127A, also sponsored by Minority Leader Borelli, would require that the FDNY provide de-escalation and self-defense training to EMS employees. We thank our staff members Rachel Cordero, William Hongak, and Josh Kingsley. Thank you very much for your attention. I turn it back over to our Majority Leader.
Thank you, Speaker Adams. We will now move into discussion of general orders, and I'd like to recognize Councilmember Borelli.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and Madam Majority Leader, for allowing me to speak very briefly on intros 126 and 127A. In the 4 or 5 years that these two bills have been kicked around the council, attacks on EMTs have gone up double in that short amount of time. And they've gone up almost 20 times, not 20%, 20 times in the 2 decades or so since it was first kept track of. 2 decades ago, attacks on EMTs were unthought of, non-existent, didn't happen. And unfortunately, in 2022, we saw a horrible attack on Lieutenant Allison Russo-Elling, who was mercilessly stabbed to death. A few years before that, in 2017, EMT Yadira Arroyo was run over by her own ambulance when a person she was trying to help and save attacked her and her partner. Our EMTs aren't second-rate first responders. They don't get leftover equipment. They don't deserve to get second-rate training. They deserve the best. So this puts into a code the highest standard of ballistics and stab-proof vests, and it puts into code the requirement that our EMTs are trained in the best practices in de-escalation and self-defense. We wish we wouldn't have to do this, but we know that EMTs have to respond to every situation. They don't know whether the person they're responding to is violent, whether the person they're responding to is having a mental episode. They respond to crime scenes, and they don't know or get to pick whether they're treating the good guys or the bad guys. So this bill makes the job of EMTs safer in posterity for the future, so I urge you all to support and vote for this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd now like to recognize Councilmember Ressler, followed by Councilmember Moya.
Thank you so much, Madam Majority Leader, and thank you, Madam Speaker, for your support of Intro 69. You know, no one should ever have to deal with harassment or discrimination or violence at work. But when these unfortunate and awful incidents do occur, New York City workers can rely on our landmark, strong city human rights laws to protect them in court. Unfortunately, many large employers have started forcing employees to sign contracts that limit and undermine their own rights. Under our city's human rights law, employees currently have 3 years to file claims for discrimination or harassment or violence, but employees, many unknowingly, have been signing contracts, sometimes even during the application process, to shorten this period to just 6 months. Some of the largest employers in New York State have been perpetrating this practice, like Northwell Health, FedEx, and even Raymore and Flanagan, whose ads I used to love as a kid. These contracts are unreasonable, and they are contrary to public policy. 6 months is just not enough time for an aggrieved worker to find a lawyer, file a claim. It doesn't make sense, especially given the high likelihood of the threat of retaliation, which discourages so many employees from immediately filing claims. Intro 69 will restore the intent of our strong human rights law and ensure that no private employers can create their own corporate loopholes. Every employee should have a full 3 years to file a claim. I really, again, want to thank the Speaker for her support, and I also want to thank Chair Natasha Williams, who's been was a co-prime sponsor of this bill and has championed it from the Civil and Human Rights Committee. And I'd like to thank my constituent, Ann Clark, who's an employment attorney who brought this issue to our attention. And then finally, I just want to thank my staff who helped shepherd this all along, and especially my Chief of Staff, Molly Haley, who is terrific. So thank you very much, and I hope everyone will support it.
Thank you. I'd now like to recognize Councilmember Moya, followed by Councilmember Riley.
Thank you, Madam Majority Leader. Good afternoon, everyone. I want you all to take a moment and picture a little boy in Flushing Meadows Corona Park learning to play soccer with his father, a game that serves as a link to the life in a faraway country that his father left behind to make Queens his home. Learning the World's Game in the World's Borough, underneath the Unisphere, a monument to the World's Fair, in the shadows of a tennis stadium and a baseball stadium, knowing that his dream of playing professional soccer in his hometown was impossible. Those moments at the park down the street from his home formed the core memories of that little boy's childhood and cemented his connection to his neighborhood. While that story is mine, it could be that of any kid growing up in Corona, Queens. You see, the journey of this monumental day didn't start when I came to the council in 2017 and created the Willards Point Task Force, or in 2011 when I was sworn into the New York State Assembly and wrote a letter to Commissioner Don Garber pitching New York City as the right place for their next expansion team. This has been a lifelong journey driven by my commitment to my community. It's taken perseverance and the belief that in New York City, even the impossible is possible. Impossible because we all know how many failed plans and false starts this corner of the world has seen. Yet here we are, breathing new life into the Valley of Ashes, turning the underutilized and polluted corner of my neighborhood into a historic development project like no other city has seen before. This plan puts housing first, ensuring that we didn't get left with empty promises down the line. We are building the largest 100% affordable housing development New York has seen in over 40 years with historic AMI levels to keep these homes truly affordable. We're ensuring that people can live in this community while simultaneously creating 1,500 permanent jobs and over 14,000 union jobs that will allow all workers to support their families. We are building the first fully electric and 100% privately financed soccer stadium in the US, in the most diverse place in the world, Queens, a borough that eats, sleeps, and breathes soccer, and we're building it union. We have been given this once-in-a-lifetime chance to build a new neighborhood. Madam Majority Leader, if I could just
Please
have a
continue.
couple of- Thank you. We have been given a once-in-a-lifetime chance to build a new neighborhood, forever changing the map of our great city, and we're doing it the right way. Recently, I've reflected on the difference between our accomplishments and our legacy. Too often, those two become synonymous. But accomplishments are the things we've done. Legacy is the lasting impact we have. Building a stadium and apartment buildings, those are accomplishments. Building 2,500 homes for families where they'll have Sunday dinners, celebrate holidays, creating a neighborhood where fathers will teach their kids to play soccer, take them to games in the new stadium and say, one day that could be where you play. That is legacy. A legacy that that little boy in Flushing Meadows Corona Park would be proud to tell his father about. So to you, Pop, this one's for you. I wish you could be here to see this. I love you. I want to thank the speaker, Speaker Adams, Jeremy John, Paris Slaughter, James Catone, the entire land use team for the support, Mayor Adams, EDC, HPD, Marty Edelman, who taught me a true master class in what it is to be a gentleman in negotiations from the New York City Football Club, my staff, Nathan Smith, my family who is here today, especially my mom, Ma, te quiero mucho. And I will end here with one thing. To you, Megan Taddeo Benham, my chief of staff, my sister, who without you, this and basically my entire legislative career would not have been possible. 13 years ago, we sat down in our first office and we put a list together of the 10 major accomplishments we wanted to accomplish before we could say we'll call it a day. From writing the DREAM Act to getting and building community centers in our district. Well, now we can officially check the last box on that list. This here today is as much mine as it is yours. Love you, Taddeo. And to all my colleagues, I ask that you please vote in the affirmative on this vote. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you to Majority Leader.
Thank you so much, Councilmember. I'd now like to recognize Councilmember Riley.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Today, I take great pride in emphasizing the significance of legislation action by supporting the passage of Intro 126A and 127A in collaboration with my colleagues, Councilmember Borelli and Arriola. Working as a first responder in New York City is a tough job. This work often requires responders to travel to incidents where a crisis is underway or has already occurred to provide assistance to potential hazardous environments. Thus, it is critical to ensure that we have a robust crisis response system that includes the protection of our first responders who risk their lives daily to keep our communities safe. I am proud to co-prime Intros 126A and 127A, providing them with essential tools such as body armor and comprehensive self-defense training. This is essential for safeguarding their safety and well-being while they carry out their critical life-saving duties. I urge for the continued support of these bills and the advocacy that protects our heroes on the front lines, serving our communities in the greatest time of need. Thank you to the extraordinary bravery of our emergency
medical technicians, and paramedics who risk their lives on a daily basis. And thank you to my colleagues for continuing to work together in support of this legislation. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Having no other members signed up, report of special committees,
None.
reports of standing committees.
Report of the Committee on Civil and Human Rights, Intro 69A, Employment Agreements.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Report of the Committee on Finance, Preconsidered Reso 305, Transparency Resolution.
Coupled on general orders.
Preconsidered LU 48 and Reso 344 through Preconsidered LU 50 and Reso 346, Tax Exemptions.
Coupled on general orders.
Report of the Committee on Fire and Emergency Management, Intro 126A, Body Armor, and Intro 127A, De-escalation Training.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Report of the Committee on Land Use, LU 30 and Reso 347 through LU 34 and Reso 351, Willets Point Phase 2.
Coupled on general orders.
LU 37 through LU 45, various rezonings.
Approved with modifications and referred to the City Planning Commission pursuant to Section 197 of the New York City Charter.
Report of the Committee on Rules, Privileges, and Elections, Preconsidered Reso 331, approving the appointment of Councilmember Jennifer Gutierrez, Commission on Public Information and Communication.
Coupled on general orders.
Preconsidered Reso 332, approving the appointment of Ngozi Okaro, Equal Employment Practices Commission.
Coupled on general orders.
Preconsidered M35 and Reso 352, approving the appointment of Andrea Bierstein, Taxi and Limousine Commission.
Coupled on general orders.
Preconsidered M36 and Reso 353, approving the appointment of Maria Almonte Weston, Local Conditional Release Commission.
Coupled on general orders.
Preconsidered M37 and Reso 354, approving the appointment of George Goodman, Local Conditional Release Commission.
Coupled on general orders.
General orders calendar. LU 37 and Reso 355 and LU 38 and Reso 356, 3011 12th Street rezoning.
Coupled on general orders.
LU 39 and Reso 357 and LU 40 and Reso 358, 23-01 Steinway Street rezoning.
Coupled on general orders.
LU 44 and Reso 359 and LU 45 and Reso 360, 396-400 Avenue X rezoning.
Coupled on general orders.
Resolution appointing various persons, Commissioner of Deeds.
Coupled on general orders, I ask that the clerk now take a roll call vote on all of the items coupled on today's general orders calendar.
Borelli.
Thank you. A brief moment of indulgence.
Commissioner Granted.
I think I speak for a lot of colleagues when I say to Councilmember Moya how happy we are that this is a project that we know has been very dear to you and personal to you. And I'm glad you mentioned your Chief of Staff, Megan, because over a decade ago, you and she would talk about this project incessantly as we were both on the Assembly soccer team. And that's also the reason that I can tell you bluntly that it wasn't the lack of a stadium that kept you out of the pros. True story, I had more goals than him. And I was rotten. And with that, I vote aye on all, with the exception of M36 and M37 and the accompanying resolutions 353 and 354. Thank you.
Thank you. Abreu.
Aye.
Ariola.
Aye on all with the exception of M36 and 37 with accompanying resos 353 and 354.
Aviles.
Aye.
Ayala.
Aye.
Banks.
Aye.
Botcher.
Aye.
Brannan.
Aye.
Brewer.
Aye.
Brooks Powers.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
I just wanted to take a moment to congratulate Councilmember Moya on a major win for his community today and seeing through a project over the finish line that has dated back a number of years. So just wanted to say congratulations. I also request that I be added to 126A and 127A, and I thank Minority Leader Borelli for leading on those bills alongside Councilmember Riley.
Thank you. Caban.
Aye.
Carr.
I vote aye on all, except I vote no on pre-considered Ms. 36 and 37 with the accompanying resolutions.
Thank you. De La Rosa.
A moment to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
Thank you. I obviously am supportive of everything before us today, but I want to take a moment to also congratulate my friend and longtime colleague, Councilmember Moya. We served in the state legislature together, and I, like our minority leader, have had the conversations about the stadium for over a decade, and I just want to congratulate you for your tenacity, and to your family who's here today. I want to send my well wishes and tell you that I know that your father is proud of you. Aye on all.
Thank you. Dinowitz.
Congratulations, Councilmember Moya and Megan, and I vote aye on all.
Feliz.
Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
Briefly, just want to congratulate colleague Councilmember Moya. I know you and your community love soccer, so congratulations on making a brand new soccer field a reality for your community, a soccer field that's going to be enjoyed for many, many years, many generations. A big win for your community and for Queens, and a big win for the city of New York. I vote aye on all.
Thank you. Gennaro.
Aye.
Thank you. Gutierrez.
Aye.
Hanif. Hanks.
I vote aye. Congratulations, Councilmember Moya.
Holden.
Aye on all except M36 and M37 and accompanying resos 353, 354, which I vote no. Thank you.
Thank you. Hudson.
Aye on all with the exception of M36 and M37 with accompanying resos 353 and 354. And I'd also like to be added to intros 126A and 127A. And congratulations to Councilmember Moya.
Do you abstain? Vote no?
Oh, sorry. Abstain. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you. Joseph.
Aye on all.
You got it. Krishnan.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
Since the 2008 rezoning vote of Willets Point over the twists and turns of this project, we have seen a massive reduction in the amount of housing it will produce. Originally promising over 5,000 units, we now see that number divided in half to make way for a commercial soccer stadium. A soccer stadium that will be controlled by one of the wealthiest men on the planet, whose riches were generated by a monarchy exploiting and suppressing its people and its land. The economics and public value of this transaction must be questioned. This is a bad deal for New York City, and it is a terrible precedent for land use. A stadium on public land, subsidized by hundreds of millions in public funds, is not a good deal. This stadium will not be paying property taxes, it will not be making payments in lieu of taxes, and will pay almost nothing in rent over the next 50 years. And for what gain for our city? The project offers anemic job creation and a glaring absence of any meaningful community benefit, including for Flushing Meadows Corona Park. A development on city-owned land requires special scrutiny. We must have clear goals and serious oversight mechanisms to protect the public's interest. The tremendous expenditure of public funds anywhere should guarantee a direct and public benefit. We must seek to solve the problems of our time, and we must meet the moment we live in. We do not have a stadium crisis in our city. We have a housing crisis. We have a crisis of unemployment and extreme inequality in our Black and brown communities. And we have a climate emergency that gets worse every day. This project fails to address any of these urgent concerns and squanders an opportunity to use these scarce public resources for the people of New York City. For all these reasons, I vote no on LUs 30 through 34 and aye on all the rest. Thank you.
Lee.
Aye on all.
Lewis.
Aye on all.
Mamarato.
I vote aye on all except M36 and M37 and in the accompanying resos 353 and 354.
Thank you. Marte.
Aye.
Mealy.
Aye.
Menon.
Aye.
Moya.
I proudly vote aye.
Narcisse.
I vote aye.
Nurse.
Aye.
Osei.
Aye.
Palladino.
I want to just say to Councilmember Moya, what does it feel like, Francisco, to lasso a dream? Because that's what you did today. You lassoed a dream. And I couldn't be more proud of you, and I couldn't be more proud of your efforts. And to your father and to your family, I congratulate you all on a tremendous victory. With that, I'd like to vote no on M36, 37, and 353, and 354. Congratulations to you. And aye on all the rest.
Thank you. Powers.
I vote aye.
Wrestler.
Aye on all.
Riley.
Aye on all.
Rivera.
Aye on all.
Salam.
I vote aye.
Salamanca.
Aye on all.
Sanchez.
Congratulations, Councilmember Moya. I vote aye.
Schulman.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
Thank you. I am a proud sponsor of Intro 126A and Intro 127A. I, at one time in my life, worked for the Emergency Medical Service on the non-medical side, but my late partner, Adelaide Connaughton, was a lieutenant and a proud emergency medical technician, and I know what she went through. And in honor of all of the emergency medical service workers who rush into danger while we run away from it, I'm very proud to provide them with tools and information on how to protect themselves when they go into emergencies. Thank you. And I vote aye on all.
Thank you. Stevens.
Aye.
Ung.
Aye no.
Vernikov.
Aye on all except no on M36 and M37 and accompanying resolutions 353 and 354, and I abstain from Reso 331. Thank you.
Williams. Juan. Yeager.
Aye on all with the exception of M36, M37, resolutions 353, 354, and no on introduction 69, and I abstain on resolution 331. Thank you.
Zhuang.
I vote except no on M36, M37, and the resolution 353, 354.
Thank you. Farias.
I vote aye on all. Congratulations, Councilmember Moya.
Speaker Adams.
Councilmember Moya, long time coming. Very long time coming, my friend and colleague. Your dad is extremely proud of you, and those of us who have an understanding of what this means to the entire city, not just to the borough of Queens. The first soccer stadium in the entire city. So it's not a Queens thing, it's a New York thing. The #1 sport in the world is coming to Queens because of your vision. Congratulations, my friend. I do vote aye on all.
All items on today's general order calendar are adopted by a vote of 48 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and 0 abstentions, with the exceptions of M36 and Reso 353, which was adopted by a vote of 38 in the affirmative, 9 in the negative, and 1 abstention. And M37 and Resolution 354, which was adopted by a vote of 38 in the affirmative, 9 in the negative, and 1 abstention. And land use items 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and accompanying resos, which was adopted by a vote of 47 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative, and 0 abstentions. And introduction 69A, which was adopted by a vote of 47 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative, and 0 abstentions. And resolution 331, which was adopted by a vote of 46 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and 2 abstentions. And I promise that's it. Now, introduction and reading of bills.
Where am I? All bills have been referred to committees as indicated on today's agenda, Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Speaker Adams. We will now move into the discussion of resolutions, and I'd like to recognize Councilmember David Carr.
Thank you, Majority Leader. I'm proud to speak on behalf of Resolution 74, which proclaims and establishes Giovanni di Verrazzano Day on April 17th this year and every year thereafter. We're a few days away from the 500th anniversary of di Verrazzano's exploration and reaching the Narrows, the first European explorer to do so and to come in sight of New York Harbor. A milestone moment in the history of our city and a moment in which Italian Americans here in New York see themselves at the very beginning of New York's story, because the events that transpired after that are directly related to that voyage, which led to the settling of this city, and not only the millions and generations of Italian Americans that have called New York home, but the many other cultures and faiths and traditions that have come here as well and make up the rich tapestry that has been our city. So I ask my colleagues to vote in favor of this resolution so we can acknowledge and celebrate this milestone moment next week and every year thereafter. I want to thank the Speaker for her support, as well as our committee chair, Carlina Rivera, all my Italian Caucus colleagues for co-sponsoring this, as well as the co-sponsors who have come on since introduction, and the committee members who voted in favor earlier today. I want to thank Jeremy John from the Speaker's office, from the Ledge Division, Jeff Baker, Regina Paul, and Johanna Castro, and of course from my own staff, my Chief of Staff, Giuseppe Desario, and Peter Spencer from the Minority Leader's office. And I encourage Christina Yelamati from the Ledge Division as well. So I urge all my colleagues to vote in favor. Thank you.
Seeing no other members signed up for resolutions, we will now have a voice vote on today's resolution. If you wish to vote against or abstain from today's resolution, please notify the Legislative Documents Unit by email or by approaching the dais. I'll now read today's resolution into the record. Resolution 74 recognizes April 17th annually as Giovanni da Verrazzano Day in the city of New York. Will all those in favor say aye?
Aye.
All opposed say nay.
Aye.
Any abstentions? The ayes have it. We will now move into general discussion. I'd now like to first recognize Councilmember Brewer, followed by Majority Whip Brooks Powers.
Thank you very much. I am speaking about Intro 742, which I'm introducing today. It would restrict lobbying of elected officials by their former campaign consultants and fundraisers. Hopefully they are just campaign consultants, fundraisers, and nothing else. There are existing laws that prohibit former government employees from lobbying their city agencies within 1 year of leaving civil service, but none that cover outsiders with a financial relationship to the office holder. This bill aims to accomplish a similar objective by limiting special interest access to government officials. It will be discussed, and I hope you will join us at next week's oversight hearing before the Committee on Government Operations that will be talking about lobbying laws in general. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember. I'd now like to call on Majority Whip Brooks Powers, followed by Councilmember Stevens, then Ariola.
Thank you. I want to spend a moment today remembering Detective Jonathan Diller, who was killed in the line of duty in Far Rockaway several weeks ago. Jonathan Diller was a beloved husband and father and a devoted servant of the city of New York. This is a tragic and shocking loss for the Diller family, for our community, and for the city as a whole. I want to acknowledge my community for their outpouring of support for the Dillers and for coming together in the aftermath of this incident. We are also reminded that we must urgently pursue solutions to violence in our communities, particularly gun violence, which continues to plague too many of our neighborhoods. I note that a 16-year-old boy, James Washington, was shot in Far Rockaway just a few days ago and remains in the hospital. Our prayers are with that young man and his family, and our prayers are with the Diller family as well. May Detective Miller's memory be a blessing, and may James Washington have a full and speedy recovery. Thank you.
I'd now like to recognize Councilmember Stevens, followed by Ariola, and then Gutierrez.
Good afternoon. Today I'm introducing a number of bills. However, I would like to highlight Intro 798, which is to abolish the criminal group database. Before I became a member of City Council, I was one of the founding members of the Gang Database Coalition. The reason this issue became so near and dear to me was because the database is a secret database that, according to Attorney General, it is comprised of 99%. It's 99% populated with Black and brown men. In addition, there are many juveniles on the database, including some who are as young as 11 years old, with no efforts being made to communicate with parents, guardians, or any of the individuals on the database. Abolishing the gang database will establish the illegitimacy of the tactics of placing large numbers of young Black and brown men in a database on the suspicion of police. I would like to send a special shout out to Marquise, Victor, and Josmar, because we spent much time going in communities, educating young people and community members about the existence of this database. And I would like to thank all my colleagues who are already co-primes on this legislation with me, but I would like to send a special shout out to Councilmember Rivera and Councilmember Caban, who knew the importance of this bill and has given me and allowed me to carry this bill as a prime sponsor. Thank you. And please, everyone, please sign on. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. I'd now like to recognize Councilmember Ariola, followed by Gutierrez, and then Abreu.
Thank you. Today I'm introducing Reso 304. Across this country, there has been a dramatic uptick in criminal activity committed by individuals without permanent residency status. Here in New York City, we have seen this issue take headlines time and time again. Most notably, the January 27th assault on NYPD officers in Times Square, and more recently during an assault on officers at an Upper East Side Target earlier this week. In both of these cases, as in so many others, the offenders were released without bail and were able to flee the authorities, and in one case, our state. Violent crimes of this nature should never be tolerated and should always be followed by stricter regulations and consequences. Our first responders must be protected. Allowing anyone, including those who are undocumented individuals, to easily skirt punishment and avoid prosecution is simply unacceptable. This is why Reso 304 is in support of Senate Bill 8681 and Assembly Bill 9189, which are currently before the New York State Legislature, that would require stricter regulations put in place when it comes to violent undocumented offenders. Those bills, which are sponsored by in the New York State Senate by Andrew Lanza and in New York State Assembly by Jamie Williams, would ensure that undocumented offenders would be immediately remanded into the custody of the New York City Sheriff's Department upon their arrest or until they are tried in the court of law. This remand would prevent these individuals from fleeing the country or state, as we've seen happen time and time again, and would establish a much-needed system of accountability. That is why I'm introducing and calling on my colleagues to join me in passing Reso 304 and help send a message to criminals everywhere that here in New York City, safety and security of our citizens and our first responders are non-negotiable. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I'd like to call on Councilmember Gutierrez, followed by Abreu, then Bottcher.
Thank you. First, I'd like to express my gratitude to Speaker Adams for recommending me and my colleagues who voted in support of my appointment to the COPIC Commission. Established in 1989, the Commission on Public Information and Communication aims to enhance public access to city information. I look forward to working and collaborating with experts to revitalize the Commission, ensuring much-needed transparency in the city's data and information. Today, I'm also introducing a package of bills that supports tenants and landlords affected by home displacements resulting from fires, floods, and other emergencies. Informed by firsthand experiences, this package addresses crucial gaps in city support and offers essential guidance to tenants. Too often, we encounter distressing news stories about devastating home fires or disasters. We witness the flames or flood damage, hear from those newly displaced, and then the coverage often ends. Rarely do we see the subsequent months or even years of traumatic displacement, confusion about where to seek help, and the bureaucratic maze that both tenants and landlords navigate. This council has taken steps to mitigate risks associated with lithium batteries and space heaters, implement building protections, and require inspections. These emergencies continue to affect thousands of New Yorkers annually, however. Currently, there's a significant lack of city support for tenants and landlords to facilitate their recovery. This legislative package offers immediate and tangible solutions to permanent displacement, the instability, and the lack of transparency for residents and landlords. I'm excited to combine this package with Councilmember Krishnan's Back Home package, and hopefully together we can immediately solve a critical gap in the city's services. Thank you.
I'd now like to recognize Councilmember Abreu, followed by Botcher, then Feliz.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Madam Majority Leader. Today, I'm proud to be introducing three critically important bills. Intro 737 and 738 would work together to require food delivery apps to put the tipping option back at checkout like the way it used to be, and display the minimum suggested tipping option at 10%. After Deliveristas won historic wage increases, many apps retaliated by removing this option at checkout, and has had serious consequences for Deliveristas. I want to be really clear here. The $20 an hour that delivery workers are getting applies only to active time, meaning the time between receiving the order and delivering it. We heard yesterday from a delivery worker who was making deliveries from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. and only earned $63, and another who went from getting tips on most of his daily orders to only $5. This is because $63, spending most of the day for on-call time, does not mean you're getting minimum wage. It's only for the moment of delivery. So there's this notion out there that because Deliveristas are getting minimum wage, then therefore they should not be getting this tip. Even if it were true that they were getting minimum wage per hour, which they aren't, we still believe that consumers should have the choice to tip as generous as they please. If within your means you can tip generously, do it at checkout. If you can't, then don't tip at all. We just want to bring the option and power back to consumers. And since I only have 30 seconds, I also want to say that I'm grateful to have the support of my colleagues, Councilmember Menem, Gutierrez-Ressler, Nurse, Marte, and Hanif, and ask all my colleagues to sign on to this bill. I also want to thank the Lights Out Coalition, who's here today, for their work with my office on our bill to establish a pilot program for rat birth control. The population is explosive. 2 rats can reproduce 15,000 descendants in a single year. We cannot kill our way outside of this crisis, and so we need to explore birth control for rats. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. We are pro-birth control in this council. I'd now like to call on Councilmember Botcher, followed by Feliz, then Dinowitz.
It's a tough act to follow. So Earth Day is coming up, and it's a good time to take a look at our habits and practices as individuals and as a city. And one of the areas in which we're failing very badly is our consumption of single-use plastics, our unnecessary consumption of single-use bottled water. And I'm introducing today, in partnership with Public Advocate Jumaane Williams and Julie Wan, legislation that would prohibit the city of New York from purchasing single-use bottled water unnecessarily. I went to a meeting at a city agency a couple days ago, and they had a bottle of Poland Spring in front of every chair at the table, which is, they meant well. It was, rolling out the red carpet. But Poland Spring is trucked here from Maine. We have, in New York City, the best municipal tap water on the planet. It's been bottled and sold, New York City tap water, in stores. And I want you to thank you, Madam Speaker, with the reusable, hey, I drink New York City tap water. I love it. Next time you're drinking a bottle of Fiji water, please know that you might as well be drinking a bottle of oil, because that is what it took to get it shipped here to the port of Los Angeles from Fiji, and then trucked here or flown here from Los Angeles. So we as New Yorkers, we're way out there on a lot of issues, but I'll go to the most progressive left organizations, and they are handing a bottle of water to everyone who walks in the door. And we really need to change the way we think about single-use plastics and really do much better, because the ocean, by the year 2050, according to the World Wildlife Fund, is going to have more plastic than fish in it. And the UN says that that'll do irreparable damage to ecosystems in the ocean. So let's do better, and please sign on to the bill.
Thank you, Councilmember. I'd now like to recognize Councilmember Feliz, followed by Dinowitz, and then Ressler.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Today, I am proud to introduce Operation Green NYC. Operation Green NYC, a bill that would tackle two big challenges affecting our city. First, not too long ago, we saw the dangers of extreme rainfall. We saw flooding in our streets, flooding in our subways, and even flooding in our homes. Second, too many New Yorkers are suffering from well-documented health issues due to high levels of air pollution in our communities. My bill, Operation Green NYC, will help tackle those two issues. We must prepare our city for the environmental threats that are becoming more intense and more frequent. This bill will help us do so by requiring the construction of greenery and stormwater management systems in every community. Specifically, 3 miles of green in paved street medians, 3 miles of green in every borough every year. 3 miles of green in every borough every year. This greenery will bring millions of benefits to our city. It'll beautify communities, it'll clean our air, reduce noise pollution, and it'll help us prepare for future storms. It'll also improve quality of life in our communities through cleaner, quieter, and greener environments, and it'll protect entire communities from the safety threats posed by extreme weather. Also, this is a bill that is extremely easy to realize. I know all of us receive emails all the time from agencies such as, for example, the DOT about new paved street medians going up in our communities. All we'll be requiring is that they look into whether green could be installed rather than installing medians that are nothing but concrete or pavement. I want to thank all my colleagues that have joined as co-primes, including council members Krishnan, Aviles, Nurse, Banks, and Ressler. Look forward to working together to greenify our city. We're going to be turning our city into a garden. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'd now like to recognize Councilmember Dinowitz, followed by Ressler.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm following up the green bills and not the rat birth control bill. So, today, I'm excited to announce that with the introduction of my bill, Introduction 744, my legislative reform package known as CARE 301 is now fully before the council. This package aims to address many of the gaps in our 311 system, which leaves New Yorkers confused about service categories, ignores conditions like intolerably dirty streets, and worst of all, the idea that our city government, even in the age of the smartphone, does not have the technical ability to solve essential safety and quality of life issues. Each piece of legislation in this package is inspired and informed by the everyday experiences of our constituents. A reformed 311 system will empower those who contact my office, contact all of your offices, and improve the most important needs our constituents have, including the maintenance of a good, safe quality of life. CARE 311, or citywide accessibility, responsiveness, and efficiency in 311 improves the 311 system in three purposeful ways: accessibility, efficiency, and responsiveness. Some of the highlights of this package include legislation that will provide for live chat functionality, permit 311 users to submit instant customer satisfaction surveys, permit 311 users to submit high-quality pictures and videos as part of their service requests, and much more. If you want a more accessible 311 system, a more responsive 311 system, and a more efficient 311 system, I urge you to sign on as a co-sponsor of the CARE 311 package. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. I'm going to take a quick point of privilege and shout out my district office intern who is staffing and shadowing today in City Hall, Leah Muyalema, who's with us from Equality Charter School in the back. Hey, Leah. Thank you for all your hard work. I'd now like to call on Councilmember Ressler.
Thank you so much, Madam Majority Leader. I just wanted to call my colleagues' attention to Intro 791, which I'm introducing today. We all know that supportive housing is the most cost-effective, evidence-based solution for homelessness, especially single adult homelessness, especially for street homelessness. Supportive housing is the best investment we can make to help address chronic street homelessness in New York City. And there are over 2,000 vacant units of supportive housing today. Yet, because supportive housing has existed for over 40 years and been funded through a random patchwork of city and state agencies and various programs and is operated by dozens of different nonprofit organizations, there's no central oversight and accountability of supportive housing. That can change. With Intro 791, we create a real-time public dashboard that would ensure that that nonprofit agencies are reporting in to the Department of Social Services and that they have a comprehensive oversight of all supportive housing developments in New York City so that we can help move 2,000 people who are struggling before our eyes on our subway systems and on our streets into the permanent housing with on-site services that they deserve. I really want to thank my colleagues, Deputy Speaker Diana Ayala, Majority Leader Amanda Farias, Housing and Buildings Chair Pirina Sanchez, Mental Health Committee Chair Linda Lee, and Councilmember Sandra Ung for co-priming this bill. It is a good, sensible piece of legislation that will help ensure that we drive down the vacancy rate in supportive housing and move more New Yorkers out of shelter into the housing that they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmembers. Seeing no one else signed up to speak, I'll now call on Speaker Adrian Adams to close today's stated meeting.
Thank you, Madam Majority Leader. The stated meeting of April 11, 2024 is hereby adjourned.